CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.
Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan, and here are the headlines that we're tracking this evening on the last day of 2023 on Business 360. Stock markets gained 20% in 2023. The sensex and the Nifty provide positive returns for the 8th consecutive year. The mid-cap index is up 46% this year. 55 people killed in Gaza after Israel targets a refugee camp and a residential building. More than 21,000 Palestinians have been killed so far, as per the Hamas-run Health Ministry. A Hamas delegation is in Egypt to discuss a ceasefire plan. Russia unleashes its largest drone and missile attack on Ukraine in months. 10 people killed, 60 wounded across the country, as per Ukrainian officials. Veteran banker Uday Kotak says India is transforming from a nation of savers to investors, bats for avoiding double tax of dividends and tax arbitrage between equity and debt. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman thanks Kotak for his views. Market regulator SEBI proposes to tweak the rules on companies clarifying on market rumours, but former SEBI Executive Director Sandeep Parekh says forcing companies to clarify on rumours may impinge on confidentiality and impact competitiveness. Suggests companies be asked to share a clarification with the exchanges in confidence. Oil marketing companies hiked the procurement price for ethanol produced from sea-heavy molasses by nearly 7 rupees per litre. Sugar stocks rally in trade. Google agrees to settle a $5 billion consumer privacy lawsuit. The company was accused of secretly tracking internet use of millions of people who thought they were browsing privately. Details of the settlement are still awaited. After Colorado, a court in Maine disqualifies Donald Trump from the state's primary ballot. The court cites a constitutional provision that prevents insurrectionists from holding office. Well, let's start with what was another record-breaking year on the Wall Street. The sensex and the Nifty have delivered positive returns for the 8th straight year, gaining 20% in 2023 alone. Let's start with the mid-cap action. Mid-caps faring even better, with the mid-cap index gaining 46%. The Nifty Bank index relatively underperformed with gains of about 12%. So that's the story there. The Nifty up 20%, Nifty mid-cap up 46%, Nifty Bank 12%. Now, on the last trading day of the year, the Sensex and the Nifty were stuck in a narrow band and ended marginally in the red. So the Nifty closing 47 points lower, 170 points lower on the Sensex. The Nifty Bank down by about 0.5% or so. The mid-cap index, though, closing in positive territory, bucking the trend with gains of nearly 1%. Now, Mangalam is here to wrap up the year that was on the Wall Street and also compare how India has fared against the rest of the world. Mangalam.
8 years of positive returns is what we've seen in 2023. So let's tell you, in these 8 years of positive returns that we've seen, we've gone through a pandemic, we've gone through multiple wars in the world, we've gone through, GST implementation, demonetization, all these worries, and the Nifty has compounded at around 13% itself. If someone told you at the start of this year that, you will manage to hit a record high in the trough of March, where we were around that 16,000 points, people had said, yes, we'll take it with both hands. And take it with both hands is what they've done itself. Because at the start of the year, the market was looking at a lot of walls of worries. The US Fed tightening, we had, high inflation, the FII selling from emerging markets, and geopolitical tensions in the world as well. But everywhere there is a wall of worry, there are lands of opportunities, and India was that land of opportunity. The India growth story, political and currency stability in India, that's what worked in our favor. Strong domestic and SIP flows, nearly $2 billion per month coming in. Government-backed themes in our markets doing well as well. And at the same time, we had the rise of luxury and leisure demand post-COVID coming into. What also helped us was some good performance coming in other global markets. The Nifty ended 20% higher this year. Of course, the 8th consecutive year of gain. On a percentage basis, it may have underperformed NASDAQ, S&P 500, Nikkei in Brazil. But remember, on a compounded growth basis, it has been a rank outperformer. And it has also outperformed some of the other important markets. If you just take a look at it, it's better than Dow Jones, it's better than the FTSE, definitely better than the Chinese indices, which corrected. This year has been the year of mid and small caps. Both these indices have gained anywhere around 50%. And these are indices, so individual stocks have done a lot better. And who's made a lot of money? We've had the PSE index. This year is definitely the year of the public sector enterprises, 81% higher on that index, followed by Nifty Realty, Autos and Nifty Pharma doing well. Nifty Bank was an underperformer with a gain of just 12% this year. The FII sold about 15,000 crores this year, and the domestic institutional investors, they showed the money, almost 15,000 crores every month in the year 2023, 1,68,433 crores and counting in the Indian markets by the domestic institutional investors. The Nifty gainers, top of the ranks, Tata Motors, the one Nifty stock that doubled this year, NTPC, Bajaj Auto, Coal India, L&T, all of them doing extremely well. Some of the underperformers included some heavyweights like HUL, Reliance and Infosys as well. So let's see how they perform in the next year. It was the themes that did well this year. So let's talk about the themes. The PSUs, REC, PFC, near 250% gains. BEHEL, NBFC, all of them 130 to 140% gains coming in. If you were in a defense PSU, you made a lot of money as well. The Mazagon Dock, we had Cochin Shipyard, HAL, BDL, BEL, all of them doing extremely well. And then we had the railway theme. This one was really in the fast track. 360% for Titagarh, 200% for Texmaco, Railtel, Ircon, RVNL, moving anywhere between 150 to 190% as well. And with the markets doing so well, why wouldn't the capital markets theme itself do well? BSC up 310%. Anand Rathi, Angel One, the financialization of savings did extremely well this year in 2023 as well. But let's talk about a couple of these underperformers. We had Delta Corp plagued by regulatory issues. Easy Trip, AB Fashion, Page Industries were some notable underperformers. But let's end on a high. These were the stars of 2023. And I had to cut off gains at 250%. So we had Suzlon, Inox Wind from the wind energy space do well, Zentech from the defense space, and Piccadilly Agro. This is the company that makes the Indri single malt, 550% in 2023 itself. So with that, it's a wrap on 2023. It's over to 2024.
Yes, it is over to 2024. We'll have to wait till Monday for the trading action to resume. Mangla, many thanks for joining us, and here's wishing you a very happy new year. It has been a volatile year for crude, though, with geopolitical tensions continuing through the year. A yearly check shows Brent crude has fallen by almost 10% since the start of 2023, while WTI crude has declined by over 10%. This is contrary to fears of a sharp surge in prices. In fact, the reduction comes despite fears of supply disruption due to the Russia-Ukraine war, as well as Israel's war in Gaza. Now, prices have remained lower even after the International Energy Agency projected higher oil demand for the coming year. Experts say adequate oil production by OPEC plus countries, as well as rising US crude inventories, have kept prices in check. So that's the story as far as crude is concerned. In international news, the US military is persuading shipping companies to sail through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal despite the Houthi rebels continuing their attacks on merchant vessels. Now, the US military has reassured shipping companies that a multinational force is making it safe for them to sail through the Red Sea. However, shipping majors are divided on whether to resume the Red Sea route as the militants continue to target ships that are linked to Israel. Over 21,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the war between Israel and Hamas broke out in October. Israeli forces have attacked on central Gaza, where they have alerted civilians to move out as their tanks advance. Over a dozen people have been killed in an Israeli airstrike in Rafah. Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu has cancelled the war cabinet meeting that was going to discuss the plan for Gaza after the Hamas war ends. Meanwhile, a Hamas delegation is expected to visit Cairo to assess a plan for a ceasefire in Gaza. At least 2 people have been killed and 18 injured as Russia has launched a wave of missiles across Ukraine. 10 explosions were heard in Kharkiv as Russian missiles hit 6 cities across the country, including the capital city of Kiev. Ukrainian Air Force personnel said they haven't seen such bombings by Russia in a long time. Ukraine said Russia targeted civilian buildings in the fresh attacks. The overnight strikes came days after Ukraine struck a Russian warship in the occupied Crimean port of Feodosia, which has been seen as a major setback for the Russian Navy. Now, India is transforming from a nation of savers to a nation of investors. That's the word in from veteran banker Uday Kotak. As 2023 comes to an end, Kotak took to Twitter to share his reflections on how India can sustain its growth story. He said investors must avoid bubbles through policy, regulation, education and supply of quality paper. He added that India should avoid double taxation of dividends and tax arbitrage between equity and debt. Shares of Tata Consumer Products briefly hitting a record high today. This after the company announced that Tata Coffee will merge with it from the 1st of January. Tata Consumer Products market cap has crossed 1 lakh crore rupees, making it the 7th Tata Group company to achieve this milestone. The stock has surged 5 times in the last 5 years. Innova CapTab made a muted debut on the bourses by listing at a 2% premium to its issue price. However, the stock soon gained momentum, hitting the upper circuit. The company's IPO was subscribed over 50 times with heavy bidding from qualified institutional buyers and high net worth individuals. Innova CapTab is an integrated pharma company which provides contract development and manufacturing services for formulations for pharma companies. Now, the NSE will conduct 2 special live trading sessions on the 20th of January, which is a Saturday. This will be to switch over trading system to disaster recovery site. The first session will be conducted from 9:15 in the morning to 10 a.m., while the second session will be live from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So, a special trading Saturday on the 20th of January. Market regulator SEBI has floated a new consultation paper on the rules for clarification of rumours by listed companies. Now, as per the proposal, a company may be obligated to verify a rumour if it causes material price movement in its stock. Some experts, including the former executive director of SEBI, Sandeep Parekh, have questioned the proposals. Yash is standing by with more. Yash, take us through the details of the SEBI consultation paper and the reactions.
Well, Shireen, hopefully the last consultation paper from SEBI for, calendar year 2023. But this is an important one which came last evening. And, we've been speaking to SEBI. It's taken them a lot of back and forth between the various stakeholders and the regulator to come out with this consultation paper. This one is on, clarification coming from listed entities on market rumors. Market regulator SEBI, to start with, has changed, the whole premise on what a clarification is required. SEBI has said that if there is any market rumor which is taken forward through a media portal, which brings a significant price movement or a material price movement in the listed entity, stock price of the listed entity, then that listed entity has to provide a clarification as far as that market rumor is concerned. As far as the obligation of providing this clarification is concerned, the onus would lie on the promoters, directors, KMPs, senior management, and they'll have to follow 3 things here to provide adequate, accurate and timely response when it comes to this particular market rumor. Now, what is considered as material price movement? Though SEBI hasn't given a specific price movement that will be considered under this category, but what it has said is that for securities which are in a high price range, a lower percentage move, and for securities which are in a lower price range, a higher percentage move will be considered as material price movement. Also, the price variation will be indexed to Nifty or Sensex move, which has happened in the same day. As far as applicability is concerned, it would be applicable on 100 listed companies from February 2024 and on the next 250 listed companies from August 2024. Importantly, SEBI said that a clarification will have to be given within 24 hours of this material price movement in the shares of that particular entity which is in question. Finally, the stakeholders who will be associated with this consultation paper, they'll have to give their views on this one by January 18, 2024.
I think this is going to be quite challenging for companies to implement because, imagine you're going through a very preliminary merger talks and you need to kind of, because of some market rumors, some leakage happens, you'll have to tell the entire market that I'm doing these negotiations. And, for a listed company, as you know, price moves every microsecond and, it could lead to a deal collapse, in fact. So I think just from a big picture, I don't think it's a great idea to introduce this.
Well, reactions coming into SEBI's consultation paper on companies being obligated to clarify market rumours if there is a significant price movement. Time for us to enter a short break, but up next, oil marketing companies hike the procurement price for ethanol produced from C-heavy molasses by nearly 7 rupees a litre. Sugar stocks rally in trade.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of...
The Finance Ministry has issued show-cause notices to 9 offshore virtual digital asset service providers dealing with crypto assets. The government has also asked the Ministry of Electronics and IT to block websites of these virtual digital asset service providers, which include the largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, also companies like Qcoin and Kraken, among others. This on the grounds of non-compliance with the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The notices come after VDA service providers were included in the Money Laundering Act, which was amended in March this year. Now, the Board of Punjab National Bank has approved a proposal to raise 7,500 crore rupees. The fundraising will be done in one or more tranches in the next fiscal year through a qualified institutional placement or a follow-on public offer. Just recently, PNB also said it secured over 1,100 crore rupees via bonds on a private placement basis. After the State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda has also raised key deposit rates. The state-owned bank has hiked retail term deposits for various tenors by up to 125 basis points. These are applicable on deposits below 2 crore rupees and primarily focused on short-term maturity buckets. Interest rates for retail term deposits between 7 to 14 days have been hiked to 4.5%, meanwhile interest rates on FDs with 15 to 45 days maturity have been hiked to 4.5% as well. E-commerce platform Meesho's losses halved in FY23 from over 3,250 crore rupees to nearly 1,700 crores. The company's revenue up 77% as compared to the last financial year. Meesho's losses are down on the back of lower customer acquisition costs and reduced spends on server and infrastructure components. Oil marketing companies like Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum have announced an incentive of nearly 7 rupees per litre on ethanol sourced from C-heavy molasses. Sources tell us that the government will likely decide on the prices of ethanol from B-heavy molasses in a few days. Sonal is standing by with more. Sonal, explain this to us.
Well, yes, it's a positive outcome for sugar companies. It was an expectation, and finally the oil marketing companies, they have gone ahead and they've increased the incentive for sugar companies when it comes to C-heavy molasses. Now, this is as per industry sources. The increase has come in by 6.87 rupees per litre, and now the price of C-heavy molasses has increased to 56.28 rupees per litre versus 49.41 rupees per litre. Sources also indicate that in a day or two or in next few days, government will also decide the price for B-heavy molasses and sugarcane juice as well. Now, do remember, this comes immediately after there were some restrictions on usage of juice and B-heavy molasses to make ethanol, and there was some reversal with that decision as well. Additionally, the notification talks about companies offering additional ethanol from C-heavy against lapsed allocation for B-heavy molasses and juice as well. They can also convert existing revised allocations of juice or B-heavy ethanol for supply of C-heavy ethanol. So this is basically incentivizing sugar companies to use C-heavy molasses for ethanol production, and that is something that will lead to their realizations going higher as well and margins also getting better.
All right, so many thanks for joining us. And with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360, the last of 2023. We will see you in 2024. Here's wishing all our viewers a very safe, prosperous and happy New Year.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC-TV18 on all of our digital platforms.